and welcome to the bench. This is just a quick sort of update of what's going on and the fun I've been having with Airfix kits. Let's start with how the Spitfire's going just quickly. So here she is. We're now obviously in paint. Decals are on, and we started doing a little bit of weathering, bit of flory wash to sort of fill out the rivet detail and the panel lines. Yeah, well, it's a nice kit. It's not a perfect kit, I'm sure, but it's gone together without any real dramas. There's almost zero filler. I think I had a tiny little bit of filler down here because there's a couple of little pieces here that go in, and they didn't fit quite as well as they could have done. But everything else is fitted without any real dramas. The engine goes together beautifully. I'm not uncovering that just yet until I'm happy, because there's a couple of little touch-ups I'm going to need to do as I go along, and then we'll do, the engine's all done, it's all painted up, it's all good to go. But I won't expose that bit yet until I've completely finished the weathering and the varnishing and etc. on here. Decals, well, they're Cartograph. What do you expect? They're fantastic. They've really settled down nicely. With just a bit of the usual microset, microsole setting solutions. So yeah, it's a good kit. I've really enjoyed it so far. Basically, really all I've got is the landing gear. Finish off the propeller. This is only temporary because I'm actually going to have it with the door open. So this has just been the clear parts have been sort of stuck on just with a bit of PVA, so be carefully taken off, cleaned up, and then I'll have the cockpit open. Yeah, so we're not far off. It's going to be a few more bits to paint here. Like this is going to need a bit more painting up. And just tidying up, but generally really good kit, no complaints at all. But there you go, that's the Spitfire. Slight sidetracked. I needed a bit of a rest from the Spitfire for a while, so I started to do this Airfix Mini. So basically I picked this up just before Christmas off eBay, where two kits, obviously, as this picture shows. This one has already been started. This one was sealed in a bag. But it was fairly cheap, so I thought, oh well, it'd be a bit of fun, something a bit different from the usual. Unfortunately, so this one was already there's somebody painted, built up the main interior, the seats, etc. Painted it with the black paint that comes with the kit. Unfortunately, I'm assuming they're a fairly inexperienced modeler, and obviously got a bit frustrated with maybe the paint because it was quite a bad job, and we all know, let's be honest, Humbrol paints aren't the easiest to work with. You really do need to thin them, thin coats, and they don't adhere to the plastic particularly well. And I think in some ways Airfix are missing a trick here, because I think people are put off. Young modeler might have started this and thought, well, I'm never going to get what they've got on the back here with the paints they've supplied me, and given up. I don't know. But anyway, so I stripped back all the paint off the bodywork and the interior, and then redone it. But it's been a really fun little kit. It goes together really well. The fit coming down from because obviously you build up the main interior, then you fit to the sort of top part of the cab to the bottom. That was a bit of a challenge. It didn't fit quite as well as it should have done. Maybe that was me, maybe that's the kit, I'm not sure. We'll find out when we do the second one. Obviously somebody else had already built it, so I could have tried to unstick things, but in the end a little bit of careful sanding and wiggling about got it in without too much of a drama. These are actually 3D printed wheels on here as well, because unfortunately two of the wheels are actually missing. But I was lucky enough to find a 3D design for a couple of quid. They're 1/24th scale mini wheels, and these are low profile tyres, unlike the ones that come in the kit. But I think they look all right. They're 3D printed really well. I had to scale them down to sort of fit the 1/35th scale, 1/32nd scale, sorry, that this is, but it looks okay. I'm quite happy with that. There's still a little bit more. I've got couple more decals, a little bit of clean up. and some finishing off to do. I'm also going to have to see what I can do with this decal, because it's going to need a lot more persuasion. I think, again, these are Cartograph. I think they're Cartograph. Yeah, it's got a Cartograph logo on the box, so they are Cartograph. I mean, they're okay, but it's just a difficult shape. It just doesn't seem to fit, and I've got a few creases in it. But we'll get some more decal solution on that, see how that goes. But that's a fun, you know, just a bit of a change, something different. You know, yeah, good kit, really, good little kit. And then I picked this one up at the weekend. Again, just fancy something a little bit simpler. Once the Spitfire's quite a complex, kit, quite a lot of effort going into it. I thought I wanted a couple of kits that are perhaps a bit more, I suppose, mojo build is sometimes the word that's used. So I thought I'd get this one. I'm not going to do an inbox review because there's thousands out there. But actually, considering its age, other than the horrendously large riveting on it, it looks a pretty good kit. I suppose the only question is, am I just going to build it out of the box as it is, or am I going to try and sandbag these rivets and re-rivet it? Having the recessed rivets are nicer, I think, than these. I know, maybe it's correct, although looking at photographs of the actual aircraft, they don't seem to. I mean, there are rivets there quite clearly, but they're not like this. Or at least, it didn't look at it on the photos. Obviously, some of these photos are quite old, so it's quite difficult sometimes to tell. And I've never seen a real aircraft, so I can't really comment. But I'm not sure quite what I'm going to do with that. But something a bit fun. I'm probably not going to do the one on here. I'm probably going to go for the float plane option. Because thinking about it, I don't think I've ever done a float plane. I was trying to think when I might have done one. Maybe many years ago in my childhood, but certainly not as a sort of adult modeler. So I thought that might be something different. I might even try and make some sort of diorama out of it, so it can be on water. Don't know. It depends what mood I'm in and how in depth I want to go. Obviously, it's supposed to be a kind of simpler build, so that just sort of get me back into it and. Yeah, nothing too complicated, so perhaps I shouldn't overcomplicate that one too much. And then just last of all, I thought I'd quickly mention model show that I'm involved with. I know a lot of you probably are too far away to come to sunny Worthing on the south coast of England, but if you're in the UK and you're not too far away, and you fancy a trip down to Worthing on the 29th of April, there's a really good little model show. This is the second time at this new site, which is bigger than our previous show, at Bowhunt School. It's a really nice site. There's loads of car parking at the back of the school. A bit tricky to find, but if you look on Google Maps, you'd find it. But the school's not hard to find, but the parking around the back is. But there's loads of it, so there's plenty of room, and we're always really blessed with a lot of fantastic modelers that come along and display, and fantastic competition. There's some great stuff in the competition, and not just planes and tanks. There's a lot of sci-fi and some really good stuff in there. So well worth a visit. It's free to enter. Free entry into the actual school, so you don't need to pay to come to the show. Don't get me wrong. If you want to make a small donation on the front desk, that always helps the club keep going. But there is actually, don't feel obliged to. You don't have to. There's refreshments there. It will be some radio control trucks that you can have a go on if you fancy that. But it is predominantly plastic models, plastic kits. Traders. Hopefully we'll have a few decent traders. We usually do, selling accessories and kits. And of course, you need the sea. If you make a day of it, we're going to go down to the beach. There's some good fish and chip shops down there. We've even got a pier, so there you go. Yeah, that's all I wanted to say. Hopefully there's something interesting there, and I'll hopefully catch up with you and speak to you soon. Thanks for watching.